Hey, hello everyone. I'm Michael. Welcome to the latest episode of Talk. So you can see this thing. That means we have a special topic. This is WBC uh, 2023. Yeah. So so in this talk, I will share how to compute the probability of each country, the probability of championship for each country, and then I will do the basic analysis for the rosters for every country. Okay, so so the first thing we want to talk about is how to compute the probability of championship. So so it has several steps. Actually, it is not hard, uh, but it needs some patience and steps. Okay, so the first thing I think you need to do is to evaluate every team's every team's um, the the winning percentage for each combination. So for example, so there are 20 countries for this WBC competition. Yeah, so we have to compute for every country. So let me take example. So so the first example is like for example for Cuba. So we compute we Cuba versus Italy. The Cuba will have 0.534 to win this game. So so that means Italy will have 0.466 to win Cuba. So so Cuba so Cuba versus every team's winning probability is from here. Yeah, the 20 teams from here. Oh, that's over. Yeah, and we just compute for every country, like Cuba, Italy versus Cuba, Italy versus Taiwan, Italy versus Netherlands, Italy versus Panama, Taiwan versus Cuba, Taiwan versus Italy. Yeah. So so it will be 20 times 20 table. Yeah. And one thing we need to notice is that because we will not competition for your country itself, right? It is not possible. Like Cuba will not versus Cuba, right? So I just put 0.5 here, and I will explain later why I put 0.5 here. Okay, so and so actually here it just based on everyone's opinion. So so maybe everyone's for this table, I think everyone is different, and and the next step is that I will tell you what these numbers come from. Okay, so so okay, so so how do I evaluate each country's uh, strengthness? So 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 the way I will to evaluate the strengthness for each country, I just see every country's rosters and give them a score. Okay, so so this is for the levels and and their corresponding points. So like so for the MLB if the team is MLB level, they will get 6 points. And if the team will be the AAA level, they will get 5 points. Double A will get 4, A plus get 3, and A will get 2, and rookie will get 1. And if the average level is around top 200 of MLB players, you got 6.5. And if all the players in a team are in the top 50, and you will get the 7 point. Okay, so and then I will find every country's rosters, and to evaluate the score. Okay, so for example, for Taiwan, okay, so because Taiwan Baseball League, I think is between the level of the Chinese Baseball League is between, is around, it's not between, it's around high A, so that means 3 points. So for example, like this one, is for brothers. They got 3 points. This is for Weishan Dragons. It's also got 3 points. And Chen Guanyu is also from CPBL. It's also got 3 points. And then we find all the players in these rosters and give them an average. So like for example, I think in Taiwan, I think it's around 3 point something. Yeah. So for Taiwan's level is between high A and double A. Okay. And after we calculate for each team, and I just do a little adjustment. Yeah. And like I just watched some articles which tells about the experts to evaluate for power ranking for each country, and I just do some adjustments, and the final power ranking is here. So here is the total country of the power rankings. So the number one is absolute USA, because the players from the USA are from Major League Baseball. So the average point is 6.47. So the average level is almost the top 200 players in the MLB. Yeah. So number two is Dominican Republic is also very high. It's also higher than an MLB's team, that is 6.25. And Japan is also very high. It's 5.75. Yeah. Number four will be Puerto Rico, 5.51. And next is Mexico and Venezuela. So this 6 teams level is higher than AAA. Yeah. So the next one is Cuba, Canada, Italy, Korea, Israel, Colombia. Taiwan is number 13, and Netherlands, Panama, Australia, Nicaragua, Great Britain, China, and Czech Republic. So for Taiwan is 3.88, 3.88. Yeah, is in number 13. Yeah, and the one thing we need to notice is Netherlands is number 14. So it's 3.83. Because actually I think Taiwan and Netherlands the average score is actually almost the same. Yeah, because although their position players is very high, there are some of MLB players in their position players, but for their pitchers, is relatively weak. They are from the I think it's from the league from their country, or just come from the a lower level of minor league. So for the average, I think it is very similar to Taiwan. But I'm from Taiwan, so I need to give more confidence for my country. So I just put Taiwan a little higher than Netherlands. And also Cuba, Canada, Italy, and Korea, yeah, their level is higher than AA, and Israel is in Colombia is almost to AAA level. Of course, Taiwan and Netherlands is almost close to AAA. Yeah. Okay, so this is for my power ranking, and the next steps is how to calculate these numbers for why. So why Cuba versus Italy they have. So why Cuba versus Japan they only have 0.395 winning probability? Why? So this is my calculation methods. So you can see here. So for column A is the difference between each country, and column B is the winning probability. So for example, let me show example like so for Cuba and versus Taiwan, the difference is almost close to 1. So that means the winning probability for Cuba is 60%, is almost 60%, and for Taiwan is only for maybe 41 or 42. Yeah. So, and then we can get this table. Each difference from each combination of the difference from each combination, and based on here, we just calculate for this one. So and based on that one, we just calculate this one, and we can calculate for these numbers. All right. Okay. So let me just shows Taiwan. So yeah, the winning percentage is only 41.8% to winning Cuba, and 45.2% to win Italy, and around 50% to win Netherlands. So actually they are very close. And for Panama, it's not very high, 54.7%. That's a very close number to 50%. So actually, a pool A with 5 countries: Cuba, Italy, Taiwan, Netherlands, and Panama. I think their level is very closed. So I think each 5 team we choose 2 teams to the quarterfinal. I think it is not very. It is very normal to choose each of 2. Yeah. Okay, so the next part, so we have this table, and the next part we have to calculate the probability to go to the second round. Okay, so the second round, how to go to the second round? So So for each pool, they have 4 pools: pool A, pool B, pool 3, and pool D. And if you got the first place and second place, you can go to the second round. Okay, so how to calculate this probability? Actually, this is the most complicated part. So because they have 5 teams in each pool, so they have 10 combinations for, they have 10 games for each pool, right? They have 10 games. Yeah. So there are 10 games. That means we have 1024 combination for 1024 results for the first round, right? So because to multiple 10 times, right? So they have 1024 results in each pool. Okay, so here is what I do. Okay, I just write a code. I just write a coding for 1024 combinations, and we just put winning for 1 and lose for 0. Okay, so I just write the code for here to show the 1024 combinations, winning for 1 and lose for 0. And it shows for here. Okay, and then I just shows the table like this one. And then the next steps is to change this 0 and 1 to the winning and lose probability. Okay, so because they have 10 combinations, so let me take example for pool A. Okay, so like so I just show for each, to show each game's winning and losing probability for each game in the first round. Okay, so I just put each one, the winning percentage and losing percentage. Okay, and then I just put them to here, and the table will become this one. And I just put another column for the probability for each case probability. So for each case probability, so because they have 1024 cases here, so this is the probability for each cases. So the total for this probability will be 1. Okay. And then I just show the expectation for each team's number of winning. So like for example, there's 5 teams here, right? And the first and for this one, for the first team's winning expectation is only winning for 0.95 games, and the second team, your winning expectation is 1.56 games, and the third team of the winning expectation games is 2.013, and the fourth is 2.338 games, and fifth is 3.13 games. And then this is for the probability. Okay. I just list for so for the total 1024 cases here, their expectation, winning expectation, the expectation of how many games they win. Okay. And then I just ranking for each team. So like for example, for this one, because these 5 teams won the 3.13 games, he wins the most games for these 5 teams. So this is number 1, and this is number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. Okay, so these the rankings for total 1024 results. Okay, and for next steps, I will calculate for the probability of each rankings for each teams. Like for example, so I think this example is from the pool C. Okay, so let me show the results from the pool A. So this one will be the final results. Okay. So let me show you. Okay. So this is my final results. So for Cuba, the probability to get the first place is 38.7%, and the probability to get the second place is 20%, 20.1%, and got the third place will be 9.94%. And I just said to go to the second round, you need to get the first place or the second place. So it will be the total of these 2 probabilities. So for Cuba, the probabilities to go to the second round is 58.9%. It's almost 60. Okay, so and also for Italy, yes, 48%, and for Taiwan is 31.6. Netherlands is 62.1, and Netherlands is a little bit higher than Taiwan, and I will explain why. So for Panama, it will be 29.1%. Okay, and so we can see Taiwan. So the Taiwan to get the first place will be around 11.2% to get the first place, and the second place will be 20.4. The third place will be 27.5%, and fourth place will be 27.7%, and the last place will be 13%. So in this table, so the Taiwan will get over 50% will be located in third place or fourth place. Yeah. So either for Netherlands, they have 60% to ranking in these two places. Okay. So for Panama, they have 38% to get a last place. So let me explain why Taiwan's power ranking is higher than Netherlands, but why the probability to go to the second round is lower than Netherlands. So let me show you this data. So this data means because they have 1024 results for for the first round, right? So for the 1024 results, so for example, for Taiwan, they have 130%. Sorry, 130 results is for number one, and they have 248 results for number two, and 268 results for number three, and 248 for fourth place, and 130 results for the last place. So you can see the number of results for each team. So for Cuba, they have 458 results to get the first two place. And for Panama, you can see Panama is also 420. So you can see Panama is also 420. Yeah, they have 420 results for Panama to get number one or number two. But the winning percentage for Panama is very low. So we can see to get the probability to get to the second round for Panama is still lower than Cuba. So but the winning percentage for Taiwan and Netherlands, actually they are very close. But they are very close. But the results for Taiwan to get to the second round is only 378. But for Netherlands is 398. So that means the number of results for Netherlands is more than Taiwan. Even though the winning probability of Netherlands is a little bit lower than Taiwan because they are very close, but the results for Netherlands to get to the second round is more than Taiwan. So this is why the probability to get to the second round. This is why Taiwan is lower than Netherlands. Okay.